My wife, spouse, partner, depending what generation you're from, uh, came up to me this morning and said, "You got to see this clip." And she showed me. Uh, we have a show in the United States called Saturday Night Live. Now everybody calls it SNL, and I've been with them from the beginning. That's how old I am. It used to be really funny, and then it got less funny, and then it got funny again, and then it got stupid, and then it got politically correct stupid, and then there's a long story. I can't tell the whole story. It's like the story of our country, our culture, or some people's culture, part of our culture. It's very confusing. But it was. She's like, "You got to see this." She said, "We may." It's like, "We may need to start watching this again." And I'm like, "Aren't they in a progressive echo chamber?" I'm like, no. Aren't they in a? Well, they were never conservative. That wasn't going to happen. But I'm like, aren't they? Like, no, it's great. Look at it. And it was a skit where everyone just basically said, "I'm stupid," and they were admitting it. I'm stupid. Someone else is like, "Well, I'm stupid too," and I don't know who to vote for. And it was an elephant or a Democrat. No, Republican. I can't keep those things straight sometimes, symbolically. And a donkey. I can't figure it out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm stupid. I thought, yeah, you are. Um, how to make progress. Decide on your direction. Don't be stupid. So there's another show called The Goldbergs. Goldbergs. Jeff Garland is in it, and I forget the name of the guy. Well, Goldberg. How could I forget? Uh, I think he was the youngest son in an insane Jewish family with four boys. I think it was four boys. Maybe it was three boys, but they changed it, of course, because they had to make it less Jewish. Um, they had to make it a little more blue collar like, which was smart actually. But they kept the heart of it, and then they put a girl in instead of a boy. Oh, girl, sorry, a woman. And well, it depends what generation you're from, right? And it worked. She was great. Uh, and the dad, Murray, who worked in his father-in-law's furniture store, which he ended up running, which really reminds me of family business because I grew up in a similar kind of way, uh, is trying to explain to his idiot sons, daughter's fine. The younger son's having a blast, and the middle son's an idiot because his mother, played by Beverly Goldberg, keeps telling him he's a genius and he's an idiot. So it's hard for Murray, who's watching this. This is my take on it. I don't know if I'm right. It's just this is my take on the show. And this has a lot to do with how to make progress and deciding on your direction. And he's uh, he's like, don't be a moron. Don't be a moron. And he says, stop being a moron. And then he explains it. So we watched all the episodes, and then it started getting it's the same after. Like I get it, I get it, I get it. I'm done. Hilarious. And I'm like, you guys make as much money as you can. It's hard to make money. You made something great and original. So it's called a cash cow in business terms. You might as well milk the cow for a while. And they did, maybe a little too long, but it doesn't matter because it was great, hilarious, because it's true. That's why it was hilarious, because it's real. What did he mean? Is the parent, the dad, helpless in his family, with the mother's in charge of everything, who wanted to be an attorney, and all that repressed, incredibly intelligent energy was wrapped up into controlling her children and moving them around. And this one's a moron, and she's got to figure out, you're a genius. Okay, I don't know. That's just what I saw. And don't be a moron, Matt. Be a person. What does be a person mean? Well, in Jewish culture, it means don't be a moron. It's really simple. And there's a term in Yiddish, which my grandmother called Jewish. She never used the word Yiddish. She said, oh, those people speak Jewish. They're ethnic. I'm like, you like you? She's just, no, I'm American. That's hilarious just in itself. No, I'm not Jewish. My parents were Jewish. I'm American. That's how she thought, which was true for her. So don't be a moron, man. Be a mensch. Be a person. Be a good person. Be a good person. Stop acting like that. That's why people don't like you. You're acting like an idiot. And I think Saturday Night Live is saying the same thing. I'm stupid. You don't have to be, though. So there's a movie called Forrest Gump. So I don't know how many of you have seen Forrest Gump, but it explains it perfectly. Same thing. Stupid is as stupid does. Stupid is not an immutable, eternal sin. It's not a crisis. It's not a sin. Stupid is as stupid does. I do stupid things every day. And I have people who tell me that in my own family because I'm married. Stupid is as stupid does. Oh, yeah, you're right. That was stupid. Not hard not to be stupid. Use common sense, I think, is the point. Decide on your direction, how to make progress. Start using common sense. Why is this so confusing? The marketing. So if you're looking at on the United States right now, you're probably like, what's wrong with these people? It's fine. We'll be okay. I hope. No, I think it's fine. I'm not concerned. I love some of the things that are going on. The fact that Facebook's moving to Texas from California, I'm like, that's a smart decision. I had an employee in California. I worked for a company in California years ago in Berkeley. They were a manufacturing company, a really successful company run by a bunch of hippies that made money and figured it out. And they couldn't do anything in terms of their facility. Well, they ended up making everything in Pakistan, which didn't work out. And then they went to China. But the municipality wouldn't let them do any, they own the building. They couldn't find, it was like a committee would have to come and approve everything. I'd move out too. So all these big corporate, I'd move out of California a quarter. I get letters from, I got one from Georgia though. Oh my God. I don't have it. Well, I may have it in front of me. It's not just the blue states, it's the red states too. I've got it here somewhere. It took a while to figure it out. Georgia Department of Labor. It's not my fault. It's your system. It's not my fault. I'll fill it out. We'll fill it out. We're busy though, and we don't understand your stupid letter. That's Georgia. Georgia Department of Labor. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm too small of a company to hire an attorney that specializes in labor law to review all of this stuff. And our payroll service is completely like, we're not going to ask those people because it's an automated system. Okay. Am I making my point? Working on yourself daily leads to progress. It's very simple. Think about what you want and why. That's a good start. I try to start there. Then decide on your direction, how to make progress. Now I'm reading my stuff so I don't get. The problem with improv is, so I'm from Chicago, so I know how improv works. I've been to tons of improv Olympics. Second City is not the only improv in Chicago. There was a troupe called Spark that I hired when I worked for a marketing company. We did Inland Steel's 100-year celebration. And I hired this comedy troupe, Spark, because I saw him at Improv Olympics, I think it was. Or there's this other thing called Too Much Light Makes the Baby Go Blind. There's all these things in Chicago like this. And I hired these people. They were hilarious. And they did a whole pun on Inland Steel's 100-year history. They were the CEO, the investor, like they were, I don't know. I think that was bought by an Indian steel company. So it wasn't Chicago. They had an inland, they had a building. It was great. We just go to the building. And my boss, it wasn't my boss, it was my client, was there. And, they hired us to do this great show. It was a show for them. And these Improv comedians wrote a script they didn't even use, but they knew, like, these are the inside jokes in this company and in this industry, about getting clients steel. It's this whole thing. Like, see, being a steel company, you don't get it if you haven't been in a steel company. It's not funny unless you worked in a steel company. Otherwise, it's just like, what are they talking about? But the point is, I don't remember what the point is. Oh yeah, the point is improv is, you need structure, but you got to improv within a structure. So I put a structure together. Otherwise, I'll just go in circles forever because that's how my mind works. I'll make a Jackson Pollock painting, and everyone will say, "There's already a Jackson Pollock. We don't need your stupid painting." And I won't get what I want, which is a successful business. And that's a pretty good start. Other stuff. Work. So I got to read my about section on LinkedIn. Working on yourself daily leads, or I go in circles. Working on yourself daily leads daily. What's your job every day? Work on yourself. What does that mean? Pay attention to yourself. Anything else? Not really. The crux of the problem comes when decisions get made based on confusing what you want with what you think you must be, do, or have. Must be, do, or have based on your opinions, beliefs, or convictions. What's stupid? What's stupid? Doing things that aren't true or real for me based on other people's dreams, ideas, or advice. Where do we find that? Other people's dreams, ideas, and advice. Where is it? Everywhere. Why? Because it sells shit. Is it any more confusing than that? Do you believe it? Stupid is as stupid does. You don't have to believe it. I think most people don't. They're just wondering, like, how do I get what I want? Well, do that. Exactly. So I put some bullet points here. This is supposed to be a show, so nobody joined me for my founding member group, and I'm kind of glad because we're improving. So I got everybody used to this format. It's called Yes and. Pass the baton around. You'll see, because we're going to do it. Yes, and this. Stay in the structure. That's it. Avoid living a life of, so I'm going to keep going. Avoid living a life of quiet desperation, feeling that something is always missing. That's the problem. When I feel something is missing, I have a tendency to believe things that aren't true based on other people's opinions, beliefs, and convictions because I feel like something's wrong with me, even though there isn't anything wrong with me. What does that make me? Susceptible to what? Marketing. Avoid living a life of quiet desperation, feeling if you avoid living a life of quiet desperation, you won't be susceptible to marketing. What'll happen then? The marketing will collapse. The whole infrastructure of marketing will collapse. We won't need it anymore. Now that's above my pay grade. I don't care about that. I just want to be free of it myself. And I want to be surrounded by other people who are focusing on avoiding living a life of quiet desperation and feeling that something is always missing. I don't want to be surrounded by people who are living a life of quiet desperation and projecting that onto me. I don't want anybody like that in my life or in my company or buying anything from me either. 2, learn how to give up control, do what's necessary, and allow life's systems to function. Learn how to give up control. I'm not in charge of the planet. One of my favorite comedians who couldn't have made it today, I don't think, doing what he did. He'd have to have done it a little differently, and he would have. He would have figured it out because you change. Don Henley changed. Boys of Summer. That was in the 80s. 79, 80. Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. He didn't want to do a Don Henley Eagles Glenn Fry cover band. He's driving around in LA. I've never been to LA. I think he said the 305. Is that in LA? Never been to LA. I think I'm afraid to go to LA. I might like it too much. and never get out. There's a lot of songs like that too. Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Oh my God. Boys of Summer. And look what happened next. You're like, what do I do about Prince? What do I do about Madonna? What am I going to do about my career? He's figuring it out. He's like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He's like, I don't know where I heard this, but I read it somewhere. I'm like, a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Think about that. All of a sudden, hey, I was a Deadhead. Now I own a Cadillac. He saw what was coming. Beautiful. Learn how to give up control. Be in the creative zeitgeist. You can't control it. That's insane. It's impossible. That's stupid. Do what's necessary. Now, do what's necessary is important. What did Don do? He was a badass musician. He was a creative. He allowed himself to be creative. What is that process? I don't know. What is that process? It's the same process. Working on yourself daily leads to progress. It's a very simple method. I call it notice, adjust, and calibrate. Those are my words, but it's not my method. I'm not in charge of this system. What did he do? He noticed what was going on around him. What's there? Prosperity. What's next? The waves of change. To surf. Adjust. Oh, well, don't want to do that cover band. I got enough money now. I can do whatever I want. It's not good enough. That quiet desperation is holding on to that, especially, you never made any money. You want to make real money? Look what's going on around you right now online. I've never seen a bigger opportunity and a bigger trap for those who want to copy other people. What's the formula to be a successful content creator? What's the answer to that? Don't follow successful content creators' formulas. Why? Because it's stupid. Won't work. Doing things that don't work is stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. If you've been doing that, I did it for 2 years, 2.5 years. It's not original sin. I looked up and I said, well, this isn't working. Now what am I going to do? And I did something different. Integrate your understanding of how nature works with truth that has been lost to moderns. Ooh, that's deep. No, it's not. It's obvious. Simple truth. It's not deep at all. Integrate your understanding of how nature works. We live in nature. I look around and you can see things that make sense. That's it. Integrate that with truth that has been lost to moderns. I already know America's nuts. Have you noticed? It's where I grew up. I've seen it since I was a kid. There's a reason for it, I think. I don't know all of the reason, but I do think the American experiment is alive and well. It is often controlled by the wrong people and in the wrong hands. But the idea of nobody tells me what to do and I say what I want, and if I want to protect the boundary of my house from an intruder, I'm going to do it. But if I want to bring an assault rifle onto the subway in New York City, I probably shouldn't be allowed to do that. Stupid is as stupid does. Have you ever spent time with your enemy? I have. I've been in their homes because I've been in everybody's homes in one way or another. Every group I've been not part of every single group that I can imagine. So I can listen and say, oh, stupid is as stupid does. So your culture is your culture. Go for it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing. What is the truth that has been lost to moderns? Well, we know. He's right there. There's others. They got him right there. Truth lost to moderns. Truth lost to moderns. I got more stuff like that around here somewhere. Truth lost to moderns. Why would I think I know? I grew up in Chicago, in a country that isn't that old. But we figured out a lot of good stuff too. Things are changing. That's exciting to me, at least. Realize that you already know the answer, have them inside, but have lost the key. Where's the answer? On YouTube? Moon landing. I don't know if anybody wrote something that says there isn't a moon, but it's possible. The answers are not on YouTube or Google, that's for sure. They're definitely not on Facebook. They're inside. Realize that you already know the answer. Have them inside, but have lost the key. What's the key? I don't have a key. I got a stapler. I got a phone that makes me insane because Apple is a closed system and I can't get out of it. And I can't switch to Samsung now because my daughter said it's not cool enough. No, I don't care about that. But I want to switch, but I can't because then I got to figure out a whole nother system and I still haven't figured out how to use this one. But it doesn't work well with other things. I got this doorknob. I have an old house, 1940. It keeps falling off. I can't figure out how to get this thing to stay on. It keeps falling off. I got stuff all over the place. Lost the key. Where's the key? It's in everything. It's in this book. You read this book yet? You live in the United States and you haven't read this book? There's something wrong with you. You need to read this book. There's another book. You live in the United States, you haven't read this book yet? You need to read this book. You need to read this book. This book's important. It's an important book. You need to read this book. What else? What else? Oh, this is a good one. You live in the United States? You need to read this book. Tyler, the Creator. Tyler, the Creator. He's not in here. Same thing. Tyler, the Creator. My 13-year-old daughter comes up to me and says, I want to show you this band. It's not a band. It's an artist. It's different. Hip hop doesn't have bands. Tyler, the Creator. She played it to me in the car, and I'm like, there's not a not there. It's E, big E. She's 13. Awesome. So I'm like, is there a non-E version of this? No, can't be. What did Tyler say? I am not your bleep, bleep, bleep role model. What is that? It's a creative act. It's a statement. Don't follow me. I don't have an answer for you. I'm just a blah, 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 blah. I'm like, my daughter actually found that on her own with her friends. We taught her well. I was scared for a while. There was a bit of a distraction with bad music. Okay. I don't like talking about my family stuff in public, so I feel uncomfortable with that. I'm not going to go too far with that stuff. Know the pathways to success, live a magical life, and overcome your stagnant beliefs. Who succeeds in this economy? People who want to live a magical life and not be stuck in other people's lives, who give up control, do what's necessary, and allow life systems to function. And don't listen to other people's opinions, beliefs, and convictions based on their ideologies that are confusing, whatever they are, left, right, upside down, sideways, forward, and are stupid. Stupid is as stupid does, though. So you don't have to feel guilty about it, but you got to deal with it. I think Murray Goldberg should be everybody's dad. Don't be a moron. Don't be a moron. Now, I'm talking about women are less likely to be morons. Why is that true? Oh, I'm going off the deep end later, not today. The result of making progress in this area is clarity. Even a little bit gets you a long way toward exponential leaps into a better future state experience at home and at work. Is there a difference between home and work? Has got to be, man. For me, I can't get out of the thoughts. It's the creative nightmare. It never ends. Bootstrapped entrepreneurship. That's my thing. I've done it forever and it never ends. There is no separation in my mind between what I do and who I am and where I live and where I work. But if I don't learn how to shut it off, I can't have a life. I can't have a life. I don't want to miss my life. I almost did. I almost did because of the constant change And I got to reinvent the company every like 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, start another company, go over here, do this, go this. And I don't want to take money from anybody because no one would give me any anyways. But even if they did, then they're my boss. And then I can't have a life. I figured that out when I was in my 20s. Well, I figured that out probably in college. I barely made it into that. 3 colleges. I went to 4 colleges. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm glad I didn't have a pathway that worked. I tried all of them too. That's why I can do what I do, because I tried all the pathways. Let's see. The result of making progress in this area is clarity. In what area? Working on yourself daily leads to progress. If you do that, the result of making progress is clarity. That's what Don Henley did with Boys of Summer. Look where it got him. He did not do that in a meeting with the studio or the whatever you call with the record label. Even a little bit more gets you a long way towards exponential leaps into a better future state experience at home and work. It doesn't take a lot. It's a shift. It's a shift. I call it leap, don't run. Leap, don't run is giving up control, looking around and making a shift and saying, my life condition in its current state is not a mutable fact. I'm not a prisoner of my biology or my destiny. Because we're not. Anything else is stupid. Try this simple quick start. It's 3 things you can do right now. Do it every day for a week if you want, or do something else if it doesn't resonate. In other words, don't copy me. I don't look like Tyler, the Creator, but I can think like him. I love that guy. 1, list out your most tightly held opinions. I did this for a year. And then I do it all the time. And now, whenever I have an opinion, I get rid of it. Write down the beliefs that you assume always to be true. That took a few years. Write down. I did it. I wrote down the beliefs that I assumed always to be true, and I examined them. That's 3. Oh yeah, I got it out of order. It's a problem with improv. There's not a problem. You need structure though. List out your most tightly held opinions. 1, 2, write down the beliefs that you assume always to be true. They're not true because they're beliefs from opinions. 3, examine your most cherished convictions for veracity and truth. That's the hard part for a lot of people. Examine your most cherished convictions for veracity and truth. The most cherished, the most hardwired, the bigger the freedom after you examine them, and you don't have to examine much. Examining how what you think impacts your life gets you moving toward making smarter decisions that lead towards experiencing a magic triangle life. That is possible. It's not only possible, it's our birthright. Whose? Everyone's. I don't care where you live. I don't care what country you live in. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what ethnicity you're from, what religion you're from. I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care who you are. Any of it doesn't make any difference. You have a right, birthright, for just being here to have a magical life on your own terms. And you have a responsibility to make that happen or not. It's completely up to you. But the pathway into that starts very simply. Decide on your direction, how to make progress. Working on yourself daily leads to progress. The something missing condition and the something missing feeling is not an immutable biological truth. It's a trap. Yes, that's the trap. We have ways out. I have no answers for you, but we have ways out. We, who's we? Everybody. What's today? Thursday. Oh yeah. Join Larry Alone on Fridays. He talks about the politician. Oh, this will be fun. I've been waiting for this one. Politics of decision in the global society. The politics of decision in the global society. That's going to be awesome for me. I don't know how you're going to feel about it, Um, so, liberation mechanics, today's discussion, decide on your direction, how to make progress. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about this globally and how it applies in the political environment.